time. There's the microphone. Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is your match reaction. Manchester United 2, Spurs 2. Disappointing result for United at home, you would have to say, leading twice in the game and coming away with only 1 point. And we've got plenty to talk about. I want to talk about Highland. I want to talk about our conceding goals. We're going to talk about Rashford, Garnacho. Big talk as well as needed about Eric Ten Hag as well. But we've got the usual crew in. We've got Oisín. We've got Chairman. He's got his name down as today, a.k.a. Chris, Ben, and then Alex as well as with us as always. I'll start with Oisín. You're on my direct left or right. I still don't fucking know how to use that left and right on screen. But give me your thoughts on the game. What did you make of it? You know, disappointing more than anything else, I presume.
I mean, the first 5 minutes were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then I won't say everything after that was downhill, because despite Spurs' equaliser, we actually played well in the second half of the first half, which is unlike us this season. We normally have a great 20 minutes and then it all gets thrown away. But we just didn't come out of the changing room in the second half. I mean, Eriksen was still in the changing room for when he came back out, you know. He left, was it Werner run off him for the second goal before he crossed it? Just very, very apathetic in the second half. There was no cut and drive like there was in the first half. And then we'll go on to it later on, but the in-game management left a lot to be desired, in my opinion.
Yeah. Chris, take it over from there. What did you make of it?
I mean, our midfield gets run over. I mean, Eriksen in the first half was nowhere to be found. I mean, I think that's why we lack possession, because he doesn't have the legs to run the midfield, you know. And Manu's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's trying to break plays. He's trying to gather possession and distribute the ball going forward. But I mean, it's like, to be honest with you, the first half, I really didn't say Eriksen's name too much. Didn't see him too much.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's an issue.
That's damning when you're playing in central midfield as well.
Yep. And that's why, I mean, like the commentators on my end were talking about, you know, the possession, this, and I'm like, well, Højbjerg and Bentancur were just running the midfield. I mean, Manu can't do it by himself, you know, there. So I think that's a big part of it. And then, you know, like Oisín said, we got caught with our pants down. We went forward really quick at the beginning of the second half, and then they just came back at us. And again, I don't think Eriksen realized he was still playing the second half. I think he thought he got subbed, but he was out there, and no one tracked Bentancur back. I mean, and that's just
story of the season, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. And I mean, we put crosses in, but if you notice, like, we put crosses into the back post, and Garnacho's nowhere to be found because he's still way out wide. And then when Garnacho puts a cross into the back post, I mean, Rashford's not even in the penalty box yet, and we're putting crosses in. So, yeah. I mean, something's not right. Something needs to change strategically, I think, at that point.
Yeah. And with a lot of them points, then, Ben, that Chris is making, I think a lot of them could come down to the fact that quality levels, like Chris is saying there, with maybe crosses coming in too early or not coming in at all, or coming into the wrong areas. There seemed to be a bit of a sense of trying too hard today more than anything else, and kind of forcing it a little bit. Do you get that sense as well?
Yeah, I think Garnacho had an odd game today, though. Their fullback was twice as big as him, weren't he? So
yeah,
I don't blame him for getting a ball around him and putting it in, but it's just simple things. Why don't you just swap them for, like, Rashford and Garnacho, swap them for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Let the defenders think, oh, where's my man gone? Oh, he's over there now. And 10 minutes later, swap them back again. Just get them thinking there's nothing. Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
Play the top three, and then it's just, that's it. There's no change, no nothing, no interchanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you. Alex, what did you make of it? Any areas of concern or points of highlights, something you were happy with?
Johnny Evans has to do better on Bentancur's goal. I thought he was very poor there. I thought he had a very poor. He had a good game. He should have done better on Bentancur's goal. Richarlison goal, I think Onana should have came out for it. But I thought McTominay should have scored that header. Like, I don't know how he didn't.
Yeah.
Garnacho was decent. Gaudier was good though too. Rashford was okay. Should probably pass it a few times. Just whip it in. Stop trying to do fake shots and all the time. But Eriksen, he did well in first half, but he kind of got a bit tired then in the second half, and
Yeah.
I thought Manu looked a bit tired then as well. The last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so I thought he should have came off. I thought Wan-Bissaka did very well at left back too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of that, Chris, I'll go to you on this one. You know, we talked about Rasmus Højlund there. Obviously a fantastic goal within the space of 3 minutes. You know, and a sign of maybe what he can do. And you know, we've mentioned it there as well that 2 goals in 2 league games now back to back can only be a confidence boost for him. But he needs to do more of it, I suppose, doesn't he? Consistently.
Yeah, 100%. He needs to do more, but again, we need to feed him better. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's be honest. I mean, the play that he scored was kind of a busted play. It wasn't like it was a brilliant like 1-2. You know, yeah. I mean, but he takes advantage of it, and you know, I mean, he leaves nothing to be desired on the finish. I mean, it's brilliant finish, left-footed, you know, and everything. But the other thing is, we just don't feed him well enough. You know, we're like, but. You know, the one thing I'll say is that if you, and I don't love him as a player, but if you watch Richarlison, like they broke our press because Richarlison comes back from the number 9 and he comes back and gets the ball. And the amount of running that Richarlison did today, I was pretty impressed with, which, I mean, I think that Højlund needs to learn how to come deeper and get the ball and then maybe be able to start 1-2s and start to play a little bit more instead of just kind of hanging out at the top, you know what I mean? Like more, I mean, more Harry Kane-ish. You know, you drop into the midfield a little bit more just to get yourself involved in the play. You know.
Yeah. Oisín, you know, talking about obviously, you know, we'll move on to the first Spurs goal, and obviously, I think you know me and you have been quite adamant in our zonal marking negativities, and it seemed to be the case again today. I mean, is it just the way the game is gone now, or you know, like could you potentially look at a hybrid style where you go right, get our 2 biggest men to mark their 2 biggest men, and then we'll zonal mark after that, or is it just a no go for you?
For me, it's a no. I just felt that after the first corner, Spurs knew what we were going to do. Yeah. And Angie just flooded our 6-yard box after that because he knew that we were going to be completely outnumbered in there. Just the tactical awareness he had to do that. And then that's what led to the first goal. There was too much pressure in the 6-yard box and we just couldn't clear it. I think I love Erik ten Hag, but he's too stubborn with some of his stuff that clearly isn't working. And zonal marking is one of those. I mean, it's the definition of insanity. You know, if something doesn't work, keep doing it until it does work, and it's clearly not working for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, do we need a hybrid? I think go back to basics. Get the basics right. Get our marking right. Mark up their best header, our best header, and go from there. And then when we start progressing and get more confident at that, then go to a zonal marking. We just haven't got we haven't got the players to do it in a zonal marking.
And do you think, Oisín, then as well, would bringing the likes of a Martinez back into the team, who obviously doesn't have that height, if you are going to go to a man-for-man style of mark, does that help or does that, you know, kind of hinder, given the fact that he's not that tall, you know?
He's not that tall, but he is one of our best headers of the ball that we have.
Yeah.
Because he's got the want.
He's got a great leap in him. You know, it's very rare. It's very rare he was out muscle last year for a header. Very rare. So I wouldn't have any fear. I mean, obviously, if he's marking a 6'4", you know, that's not going to work.
Yeah, he's marking Drogba or someone.
you know, but you matched him up. You know, we've all played the game to some level, and you just put your best header on the best on their best header. And
what is it that said in junior football at every corner? Height for height. Height for height.
Height for height. I mean? Absolutely, yeah. And I think we do have to go back to basics with certain things, defending their corners and also attacking our corners. We can't beat the first man. And when we do it too deep, we need to go back to basics on some set pieces.
Chris, you had something to say on that there?
I mean, I honestly just think if you watch our corners defensively, nobody has a desire to go win the ball. Like, it's the one thing Martinez does is he has the desire. He's going to run and he's going to go jump and he's going to win the ball at all costs. And that's why he's so good at it. I mean, yes, he's got good leaping and everything like that, but I mean, winning a 50-50 ball is just desire. I mean, I've never seen. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like even on our throw-ins, like there's a throw that Wan-Bissaka in the second half threw to Hoyland down, and like he misjudged the ball in the air completely. It's like the ball's coming to you. You know it's coming, and you still misjudged it. Like I mean, and you know this. We all know this when we were taught. Is like you have to want to go up and get the ball, and nobody wants to go up and get it. And I mean, even if it's zonal man marking or anything, if it's zonal, you got to be the first to the ball. We're never first to the ball, and that's the problem. And I mean, I just think it's weak. You know, I think Martinez is going to breathe a little bit more life into the defense in that, because the guy's a wrecking ball. You know, I think that's the difference at that point.
Let me go down through some of the comments here, see what people are saying. Dylan says, you'd wonder if Eriksson was changed at halftime, would it have prevented the equaliser? Is it top four? Definitely out of the question now. I reckon there's still hope. Well, I did have that down as one of my points here, and I think Oisín did mention it. But Ben, I'll go to you on this one. Do you think top four is gone now?
It is if it's that left in our hands. Obviously, we've got worry about us. Other teams, if they lose, they lose. But fair enough. But we've got to be wanting to get top four and getting results for us.
Yeah.
A draw to us today is no good, is it? So.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize before, you know, I started doing the match previews and stuff like that, and the build up to the game, that we were actually 8 points off of Spurs, which is a massive gap. But Alex, yourself, do you think top four is done, or do you think we still have a chance?
It's gone. I don't think. I think Liverpool have Arsenal will probably be there, and I think it's gone. I don't think we might get Europa League, but I don't think I want that either.
Yeah, well, that's certainly true as well. Let's see what else. Martin is saying Eriksson needs to go to a League One side. Oh, that's that, Martin. All right, well, Martin. Finn says, are they giving away the grey hoodies in the mega store, lads? Are they? Glazernomics, by Glazernomics. Crazy said, should have took Rashford out earlier if you was going to take him out. Right, I want to talk about this, okay? And I'll start with you, Oisín, on this one, because I think you've been the most vocal around Erik ten Hag's decision-making in-game. And I have to say I was baffled with his substitutions today. Now, look, I can understand if Casemiro is not ready to come back, and, you know, we don't know his match fitness levels and so on and so forth. But taking Rashford off with 3 minutes to go when you're trying to go on and potentially win a game and bring on Anthony, I mean, I think that's probably one of the worst ones he's made yet.
It's lunacy. Who does it benefit? It benefits Spurs. It slows the game down for us making the sub, and it allows Spurs to get their shape back and defend. And you know what Anthony's going to do. So he's not benefiting United at all. It's a plus for Spurs more than it is for us. I think I said it at halftime in the chat. There was no point giving Eriksson another 15 minutes because he'd had 45. He did nothing. He was anonymous. Yeah. I think if he touched the ball 3 times in the first half, he touched it a lot. He should not have come for the second half. Putting Mac Whistle on for him was another laughable decision. In my opinion, if you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to be on the pitch.
Yeah, 100%.
So if Casemiro's there, put him in there. Push Manu forward. It gives us a whole new dimension. It allows Bruno then do more of the work. It gives us also this thing we were missing when Eriksson was there. It gives us more stability in midfield, because you know Casemiro is going to break stuff down, and that allows Manu to break stuff down further forward as well. You know, it improves our press. I have been vocal of his decisions. I did honestly think he was going to play McTominay from the start. He seems to like McTominay in those kind of games,
physical games.
Yeah, he seems to. So I was surprised that he didn't start him, but I was pleased. Or I thought I was pleased till I saw Eriksson was playing. But but again, Eriksson isn't a 90-minute man anymore.
No,
I don't even think he's a 60-minute man anymore. I think he's now a finisher. He comes on for the last 25 minutes when in an ideal world we've got the game sewn up and he's just controlling the pace of the game and dictating the game, the pace of the game. He's not a starter for me anymore. I hate to say it because he was great for us last season, and throughout his career he was a class player, but he's probably just that bit gone beyond it now. But I don't. Obviously, I mean, Erik ten Hag is in a much better place than me to know what they're doing on the training ground or whatever else. But I don't know what he's seeing that we're not seeing because we all called it at halftime that Eriksen was anonymous. I just don't get it. And it is, a lot of people said it in the chat, it's decisions like Anthony for Rashford. They're the kind of decisions that are going to get him sacked. These are the kind of decisions with Sir Jim and the crowd watching. These are the kind of decisions he's going to question. And it was said as well, just Ben has said it, and I've said it multiple times over the last year I've been involved. We have no way of upsetting their defense. We're too rigid. We're too predictable. We need to start doing something about that. I don't know, is that an Erik ten Hag thing? He wants the players to play in their lanes.
Yeah.
That's just, it's not working for us.
There's no creativity or imagination nearly.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what
Chris.
we were talking. It goes back to what we were talking about before, and I know he's not the answer, but I'm just going to bring the player up, Paulo Dybala. You need a player like that can break people down, break defenses down in the middle of the park. And I'm not saying we need him, but I'm just saying that type of player. We have no player that can play in and around Højlund, that'll break teams down in the middle of the park, and that's where we, like Ocean said, we're always out wide. We're always coming in from the wide areas. We never go through the middle of the park ever. Like it, even today, like it's just, I mean, we're so, like Ocean said and Ben said, we're rigid. There's no free flowingness. There's no interchanging. There's no, we're like, he just said, we're staying in our lanes, and it's just, we're easy to defend. And, Eriksen's a finisher, like you said. I mean, you can't tell me that Casemiro couldn't have played 30 minutes. Like, then why is he on the bench if he can't play 30 minutes? Like, I mean, at that point, because I'll be honest with you, from what I've seen, I mean, Casemiro finished the header at Chelsea to tie it. He did 2 at Bayern. I think if Casemiro's in instead of McTominay and he has that header at the end of the game.
He scores. Yeah, he does score. Yeah.
He scores that. I mean, I don't even think we need to move Manu up. Just let Casemiro play and let him control the game. Let him control the tempo in front of Manu. I mean, it's not going to hurt for 30 minutes. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work for an entire game, but Casemiro likes to move forward. I mean, we've seen it already this season, and even last season, he scores big goals. So, I mean, I agree. I just think bringing Rashford off in the last 3 minutes, whatever, it's the last 3 minutes. I just think it is what it is. And it's, I don't think he ever thought that Anthony was going to do anything anyway. I just think he's, giving him, but again, we don't play again until when? February 1st? Or do we have a cup game?
No, I think it's 2 weeks' time now. Today, 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
just out of interest, though. Do you think Bruno needs to step his game up a bit as well?
Oh, Bruno is poor
when he's got the ball.
Very poor. Very poor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, I just think he should. I mean, Bruno, like we say, it's either he makes the miraculous pass or he gives the ball up. I mean, it's 50-50 when the ball's at his feet. He never holds the ball. He never, holds the ball in possession to start to play and everything like that. It's always, I mean, it's starting to get annoying, to be honest with you. Like I'd almost call for, I hope Mason Mount can come back and do something a little bit different, because something's got to change. I mean, the reason why we don't keep possession is because part of our midfield can't hold possession.
Yeah.
I don't see how Mount helps that, though.
Go on then.
No, maybe he holds the ball a little bit better. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, that's all it is hope at that point. When Mount played with Chelsea, he did hold the ball a little bit better than what Bruno does. Bruno, I mean, it's one touch and gone. I mean, it's always one touch and long ball gone. So it's annoying.
Sure is.
Go on, Oisin. What do you reckon?
Well, look, I mean, I've been a critic of Mount on this channel. I don't see where he fits into United. I just don't know what his role is going to be. Who do we take out to fit him in there? I just don't think he's the answer to to the question that we obviously have at the moment. And I don't see how he's going to help us.
Now, I'm only playing devil's advocate here, but do you use him in the 8, in the kind of Christian Eriksen role there, and rotate him with Manu, not to have too much pressure on the kid either? Now, obviously, he's not as good as on the ball, as, creatively, as maybe an Eriksen in his prime or Kobe Manu is in his youth. But, has he now become a squad player maybe with the emergence of Kobe Manu?
I think Manu's a starter from now to the end of the season. I'd be very. I don't see why we'd want to bench him. He might be rotating with Casemiro, but I can't see us because Mainu has been, on average, our best player on the park anytime he's played.
He looked a little bit jaded today, though, didn't he? He looked a little bit. It's probably one of his, I won't say worst performances, because even today was decent. You know what I mean? But not up to his normal standards.
He was run over. We've said it already. He was run over midfield. He was playing. He was trying to do three things. He was getting no help from Eriksen or Bruno. So I mean, that's going to wreck anyone.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 100%. They wrecked Casemiro at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Want to talk really quickly then. Obviously, we mentioned top four there already. I don't know if I asked you, Oisín, but do you think top four now is done?
It's very slim. Yeah. I'm the eternal optimist, as we all know. So it's very, very slim. I mean, I did pose the question, is it gone? Going to my head, yeah, it's gone. And like Alex, I don't know, do I want Europa? What does Europa do for us? Thursday, Sundays? No, thank you.
Yeah. Chris, go on.
No, it's gone. It's gone. I mean, unless the top four teams, top six teams get mired with injury, it's gone. I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think we deserve it. I mean, we don't deserve to be in the top four the way we're playing right now. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I mean, we don't score enough goal. Like, what's our goal difference? It's still like minus.
It's minus four.
Yeah, that's awful. Like, think about that. Like, that's horrendous.
Right. Well, look at it. Okay. Right. In the last 4 games in all competitions, okay, we scored 8 goals. Okay. So I'm not saying we're starting to score goals. Okay. My point being is that if somehow we can just stop conceding, like today's performance without 2, let's say, relatively sloppy goals, a very soft one. Yeah, it is. They are 2 fucking very sloppy goals. One from a corner where no one challenges, and the other we were still, still swallowing the last sup of tea from half time in the dressing room. But other than that, like, am I getting a bit too carried away, Chris, that we actually are starting to score a few goals? And now with Casemiro and Martinez coming back, again, being the, optimist like Oisín is there, am I being too optimistic? And maybe are we, is there hope? Is there hope? Is there hope?
I for me, no. I mean, are we starting to score more goals? Slightly, but I mean, we scored. What was it? 2-0 against Wigan. Like, and that was.
So yeah, 2 today, 2 against Wigan, 1 against Forest when we lost 2-1, and 3 against Villa.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to. I mean, it's getting better, and maybe the answer is that we're not scoring more goals, is that we're just going to concede less. Like we did last year. Last year our goal difference was awful. And maybe with Martinez back, we're going to concede less, and Casemiro back, we're going to concede less, and maybe now we win 2-0 now instead of, but.
Sorry, they're just showing Scott McTominay's header there again.
I mean, it ruined my day when I saw him talking to Ten Hag on the sideline. I was like, I literally just put my head down. I was like, oh no, come on.
Yeah.
Not today. Just one game without him, please. Just one.
Yeah. But right, okay, so let me just go down through a couple of comments here and we'll see. Darryl says playing Eriksen, McTominay and Anthony consistently is going to cost Erik ten Hag his job. Danny says we needed a win today. A draw's not good enough. That could be the end of our top 4 finish battle. Going to take a miracle to get top 4 now. Finn says Spurs are a better side than us at the moment, so a draw isn't a disaster. Benny says Spurs were without arguably their 2 best players in Son and Maddison today, and we still couldn't put them away. Niall says it's damage limitation till the end of the season. I still think we need Europa League next season for financial reasons. Finn also says jury is out on Mount, can't see what he brings to the table, and we need reinforcements. Also, he says my big concern here now, and we'll finish up on this one, is the more, like, we keep coming on doing these match reactions, and I'm getting more and more concerned for Erik ten Hag and his job. Now obviously, look, it's still early doors, and we're getting, the Casemiros and the Martinez's and the Luke Shaws and so on and so forth coming back in the next few weeks. And this little break now for 2 weeks will be no harm, in my opinion. Or you can, disagree with me on that one. But I'm starting to feel like there is some real concern about Eric Ten Hag's job here, and that Radcliffe is just going, I'm not going to make any changes till the summer. But, the more these kind of performances and results start to build up, the more his mind is going to be made up. Oisín?
Yeah, I think, look, if we're to believe any of the news we're reading, Sir Jim just can't wait to pull the trigger and for some reason get Potter in. So these kind of decisions, as I said, taking off Rashford, bringing Anthony on, bringing on Scott McTominay, how long he's leaving the decisions to go. There's just the pressure is mounting. And look, I love him. I want him to stay there. I think the way that you have to admire a man who sticks to his guns no matter how wrong he is.
Yeah.
Or so my wife tells me, So there's just something about him that I think he is the man for United.
Yeah.
But he's not helping himself.
No.
He really isn't. He's not helping himself. Now, these 2 weeks that we have off, I want to see a team when we come back. Is it a cup game we come back with? Against these
against Nottingham or some fucking...
We play Wolves.
Yeah,
that's next league game, but our next game is a cup game, though, isn't it?
We played it 28th in the away in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
and then the 4th of February we play Wolves.
Yeah, so I want to see whatever team he puts out against Eastleigh absolutely tearing them apart.
Yeah,
just hungry for the ball, and I also want in the next 2 weeks United to get some business done. Because there's nothing else distracting them. As soon as I said it, Chris, I knew it, and that's not even my funniest joke today.
No, but Oisín, let me ask this question then. Give me the two things you want to happen, business done by the end of January. What 2 things would you like to see?
Look, obviously we need a striker. That's everyone's number one. As I said in the chat, Benzema, as long as they pay 99.9% of his wages, no problem, we'll take him. And I think we need a creative midfielder. Dybala, he's available on 10 million, isn't he?
10 million, yeah.
That's his bio clause at the moment. That's not bad money.
Yeah. But just don't give him 250 grand a week on a 4-year deal.
Well, you got to absorb his wages then, yeah.
I know he was linked United before he didn't want to come.
Yeah.
But that's when he was on stupid money, Yeah. I don't think he can demand that kind of money anymore.
He smells of a Di Maria signing to me. His wife doesn't want to be here. He's kind of not really too pushed, He's left-footed.
I just look at it. I just look at it as, I want like Oisín said, I want that type of player. But the player that Dybala is, I want that type of player and or a striker. But are you going to be happy with Choupo-Moting?
Can we just not wait till the summer, and get a proper one, instead of just buying 10 million? That's what Wolves do and fucking Sheffield United do. Wait until the summer and buy a good one. Dybala. What age is he? 29 now?
He's 28.
The thing I'd say against that is, how far can we fall if you don't get those players in? We need to do some business now, or else we fall further behind the pack. So we have to.
But is it that bad? I'll be honest with you. If you're gonna go out there and do something, Guirassy for 15 million, he scored 18 goals in the Bundesliga right now. How bad could that be? If you're talking about that type of money, and then going, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't even know what midfielder would be besides Dybala who would be available on loan or anything like that at that point. I know that Ruben Neves wants out of Saudi. Do you bring Ruben Neves in on a loan?
How many players want out of Saudi, lads?
Everybody wants out now.
Yeah, wants out.
You know what
They've had the money, haven't they?
Are they getting whipped if they don't win games or something? My God, you know what I mean? I don't get it,
But no, I think the pressure is. I think Ten Hag, unless we have a huge defeat like a 7-0, 7-0, I think that it's really going to matter what Ten Hag does from now until the summer. If he shows a progression of if the team starts to fight and we get better results, I think he'll be fine. But really, if you look at our bench today, besides Casemiro, who are you really going to bring in? You're going to bring Amari Forston in, the kid that, he's 19? We have a bunch of youngsters on the bench. And let's be honest, we started. I mean, Martinez just came back, but we started Johnny Evans at 300 years old. Like, I don't even know how old he is, but and I'll be honest, like,
This is Sparta.
but Johnny played a very good game today. He was
The
always
second goal, though, you should have done better on the second goal.
But Aaron, what's he really going to do there? The guy's coming full speed ahead of you, and he's at a standstill. I mean, that's not his. That's not. I mean, he tried to get in front of the ball. That's not his. That's not him.
I think there was a lot to do with the second goal that came from midfield. You know, the build up, how we ran so easily through. Now, I'm not saying Johnny Evans was, you know, a saint on the matter either, but I think that goal was more of a collective than anything else. But But anyway, look, guys, I think we'll leave it there because I think I have heard the doorbell ring, and that would be a Supermax. So that ain't getting cold. Anyway, guys, look, thanks for joining as always. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed that watch along, even though the result didn't go our way. But for anyone else, guys, you know, like I said, if you want to come on live like the guys, just become an official member. You can do so at any time for the match reaction videos. Get your match build-up videos into us as well. Obviously, we've got a bit of a break as well, but we're doing them. And Mr. Chairman, that's one strike, and the next one will be a red card. But anyway, lads, thanks for joining. I'll be back tomorrow night with the new show as normal, back to regular scheduled programming tomorrow. But lads, thanks for watching and thanks for joining, and I'll chat to you during the week. All right,
catch you later.
See you, boys. Anyone else, guys, please smash a like on the video on your way out as well. Hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll chat to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.